Hey traders, this is Shane, and this video here I want to cover a recent Euro US dollar trade that I had. And I'm not afraid to say that this did not go as planned, but most of it was due to, I guess, distractions on my part and just not taking into consideration what was coming up on Wednesday. It's the economic summit for it's really going to affect the euro. The euro currency. And, unless you've been living in a box, there's a whole lot of issues going on over there. And, maybe one day they'll, get everything straightened out, but that's neither here nor there. So this video here, I'm going to cover it. And basically what it was is I was reading the overall sentiment for the euro on this day. Now, this trade was actually put on the books last week, and it triggered in Monday morning around 2 o'clock, and then started to go in my favor. And let me just walk you through what I was looking at, what I want to do, and we'll take it from there. Okay, first of all, this is just a daily chart of the euro US dollar. There's no indicators on my chart. There's some lines here, but these are just how I basically set this trade up. And what I wanted to do was, we see the swing high right here, the swing level right here. I want to fade price coming back into that area, and it did come over into this area over here on the 16th, 17th as well, and then faded off. So I was looking for another fade after a run back into the price area. Usually when you see these kind of longer term time frame swing levels, you know that there's going to be some stops above that. And the bigger players out there, not us retail folk, but the big money, they like to use those areas, and they like to charge into them, take your stops, gives them a better position. You think about it. If you're trading the amounts that these guys trade, you can't just trade anywhere, right? You got to trade where there's a lot of liquidity, and that's what usually happens. So what I want to do is I want to fade this move, and let's drop down to the hourly chart here. And I'm going to walk you through a few things here. This red candle here is where I got triggered in, and the entry price was at 35. So just when it fired in here, I can move this now because I want to keep my eye where that candle was. There you go there. And I'll show you the broker chart as well. So what happened is, price went into my area and dropped like a rock. Nice hard move down, and this is where it all falls apart for me. Number one, I should have kept in mind a few things. I should have kept in mind, number one, what's going on in the Eurozone, and I should have kept my eye better on what's going on in the U.S. session on this trading day. And there's a reason for that. When I came into my session, I checked in the news, and overall, then as you can see by the chart, you don't need news to tell you, but the sentiment was down. There was a lot of let me just bring it up here. A lot of uncertainty over whether the leaders would agree on a comprehensive plan to tackle the debt crisis right this week. Investors took profit on its earlier rally, and that's the rally that I actually went short on right here. That's the rally that they're talking about. And interesting, if you think about it, when they take profits on these, they take in, like I said, where there's some strong orders, where some liquidity is. You think about it, you're trading a lot of money, that you can only be filled where the liquidity is, right? So what they trade, they can be susceptible to a lot of slippage, so they're going to do it where the orders are. So that's pretty much what happened there, and I took the benefit of the ride down. Now, a few things that happened here was, this was let's go to 35. Let's go through here to here. It's a 110 pip move from 2 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So 4 hours. And I was only risking, 30 pips. So it was a 3-to-1 R to R. I totally dropped the ball on this. My take profit was a whole lot, it was way down here. And number one, off the top, when I put this order in, I should have been more in tune to what's going on in the markets, and not the markets, but just on a macro perspective. And you and I and anyone that trades knows that, even if you're not a trader, but you know there's a lot of problems going on in the Eurozone, and I should have just been more, hey, you know what, take my money and get out of the market, right? But I didn't. So when I came in, the sentiment for the day was clearly down. The sell-off here, but the news was telling you there's a lot of uncertainty what's going on over there. So I thought, you know what, I'm around this area right about here as I'm reading all that. I just left it there. I said, okay, you know what, we'll let it play out. Wow. I don't know what happened in my head, but I totally just got totally distracted. And I just started missing this move up. And if you look at the next news I'm looking at right here, it's at 12:30 in the afternoon. By then, it's pretty much too late now because it's already rallied up against me, and I wasn't paying attention, and I should have paid attention. And look what it says. Rallied on optimism that they're moving closer to resolving their debt crisis. So the previous sentiment was clearly sell-off. But then that started to change as obviously something was going on in the conversations that, hey, you know what, they might do okay. And talk about here, we got some strong earnings from Caterpillar, boosted risk appetites, right? Euro gains and volatile trader, copper, oil advance. When you see this kind of stuff, you know what that means, right? That the risk appetite's on, right? People are okay with it. Well, it says right there, risk appetite was boosted, right? So what's going to happen, right? Well, this is what happened. So price rallied up against me big time. They're probably thinking, well, why don't you just get out of there? Well, you know what? My stop was where it was. I was pretty confident that my stop wasn't going to get taken out. So I wanted this trade to play itself out as much as I can. And now I'm trading it into the Asia session last night, where I came back to my charts and took a look at it and see what was going on. And I'm going to drop down to a 5-minute chart so you can see where my head was at. Okay. This is at 9 o'clock today. You see what's been going on, right? Just kind of whippy price action. So let me drop down to a 5-minute chart from last night. Just give me a second here as I scroll over. Here we go, right here. So it's around this area right here that I'm hanging out, right? Coming back and forth to my computer, and I said, okay, the price dropped down at base, dropped down. Now, this is what I wanted to happen earlier on. You see what happens here. We're looking at the 3,900 level. Well, what happens around numbers, right? You know people are going to go long at that. You know where their stops are going to be. So what I wanted to see happen was, let me just get the marker here. It's probably easier to show. Yeah, I could use this maybe. I wanted to, one second here. All right. So what I was looking for was, some stops underneath here where people have obviously gone long. You can see it right here. They've gone long. This is after the fact because I get out of my trade here. I actually mark it out. So what I wanted to see happen with this move down here, I saw this price came down at base, dropped. What I wanted to see was a run to these stops right here, which would drive my price down pretty much to where it actually went, 38.91. So I would have got some more profit on this trade. It didn't happen in this area right here where I was hoping it was going to happen. Not hoping, but I guess that's a good word, hoping. But I say hope, but it wasn't where I didn't have a plan. All right, so let's make that clear. If you're sitting here going, oh, I hope this happens without a logical reasoning for it to happen, if I just sat here going, well, I hope it breaks through with no idea why I want it to break through, that's that hope and fear and all that kind of stuff, right? But I want to see this happen. I want to see price drop through. I want to see the stops get taken, which eventually happens over here, right? You can see it right here. It happens a little bit after the fact. You can see this big run down here where it actually does happen. But I get out. I said to myself, okay, if it breaks above this range, I'm marketing it out. And that's exactly what I did. I got out of this trade, and I'll show you that in a second on the broker chart. All right, so the move that I wanted to see does happen, but it happens after I'm out. And sure enough, it comes down, takes the stops, goes back up. That's just part of, it's just what it is. Okay. Okay, so what you're going to see here is you see the actual broker platform. And let me just get something here so I could circle it in case you can't see it. What you see over here, you're going to see 2 here. This was the first order I put in. I went, no. When I moved it up here, about 5 extra pips. See price comes in, just like I was thinking it was going to happen, comes in, bites out the stops, and then falls pretty hard, right? That's 110 pips in about 4 hours over London session. right? That's what that is. This is the session, you know, where we're getting into the U.S. session, and happens in U.S. session where things are happening pretty good, right? Stock markets, it's around this area here, I believe. You know, some good things are happening with Caterpillar, yada yada yada. Risk is on, up against, and that's it, right? Game over. This is where I get out. You can see this little blue triangle right here. So, you know, overall, what was I looking at? I was looking at the overall sentiment for that day. When I came in was down, and the markets were going down, and it showed right here when stock markets opened and things were looking pretty good, and there was some headway going, and that affected the euro. You know, risk appetite, you know, was on. You know, we're getting a lot of that risk on, risk off sentiments going on, right? Those kind of situations. And you see price rallied strong, boom, right up through here, right, and kind of does the same thing. So that's that trade. Let me just grab something else here. What you see here is, I think, a screen capture of when I was watching the market, what I was, you know, looking to see happen. If price was going to drop down, right, fill up this gap right here. You're probably saying it's not a gap, but it's just a term used when be it price rallying this strong, right? Because all these orders were taken out. You know, there's really nothing to stop price for coming down here, you know, that I can see in the chart, right? I'm not a mind reader, but so I made this box here because I would have loved to see price drop right through here after it bit off a few of those stops, right? But well, I was already out of the trade there. So that's what I was looking for. You can see the trade's still going on. Here's my stop. This was the entry right here, right? The entry line, even though they got in through here. So that didn't happen. This is the 5-minute chart that I took a snapshot of. And once it came out of through here, I got out of the trade. You see the lines are all gone now up there. I got out. I got out of the trade because my plan was, you know, I stuck to my plan. I had my rules. If we had this nice basing here, a strong thrust out. If it wasn't going to break through here, right, but it was going to break through here, I was going to get out, and that's exactly what I did. No if, and, or but. I was out of this trade. And you can see what's happened, you know, today in the markets. It's just kind of gone, well, let's take a quick little look. You know, back and forth. Look at this. Just a big sloppy, look at like 111 pip range. Look at these spikes. It's just ugly, right? Just ugly. So in a way, I'm kind of glad I got out, right? So when all is said and done, this trade ends up being a plus 24 trade, you know, from a plus 110. This is just, it's an error. It's a trading error on my part. I don't know. I can't explain it. But and I'll be questioning this one until I get an answer on how I could have fixed all this, how I could have avoided this. And a lot of it's probably going to go to, hey, you know what? 3-to-1 risk to reward, 4-to-1 actually is it's not bad. 4-to-1 reward to risk, 1-to-4 risk reward. So I'll be, you know, going back over this trade just like I always do when trades kind of go kind of weird on me. But a lot of it can be, you know, who knows what's going to happen after this all happens. This was the area I would have liked to got out at. You know, this is a huge trade I was looking at, maybe a little bit unrealistic. And you know, there's just so many places that this can bounce on the way down that maybe I was being a little bit too optimistic, and should have just got out. You know, that eventually does come down to that area that I wanted to anyway, that I had marked off in the blue line. So, you know what, overall, what can I say about this trade for myself? Hey, you know what? My entry criteria, bang on, perfect. It played out just the way I thought. And it sold off just as quick. You know, that's 110 pip sell-off in 4 hours, roughly. So I'm happy with that regard. What I'm not happy with, I'm also happy that I was on the right side of the trade, obviously, for the most part, until it rallied up against me. But what else can I be happy with? You know, this is what you have to do when you trade is, well, what can you be happy about instead of beating yourself up all the time? Well, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. When I got out of the trade last night, that I had some rules to get out of the trade, and I followed them to a T. Right? I didn't no if, and, or but. Once it broke above that, boom, I was out, take the profit and run. And that's the key, right? It's still made a profit on this trade. Now, the good thing is these trades, the percentage of wins are, you're never, ever going to see this on a mechanical strategy, ever. These kind of, these win rates, they're huge. They're just huge. So I should have just said, yeah, you know what? This is what I'm getting at. Even a 1-to-1, I could care less, because these happen quite a bit. If you know what you're looking for, it takes a while. Don't think you can look at this and start trading this tomorrow, because it's just not going to work. But the win rate's just incredible, and I want to say you're almost guaranteed some profit on these trades. And this is not unheard of, where they just sell off like this. So I can be happy with that. What I'm not happy with, I kept my eye off the ball. I should have had a bigger macro view of what's going on over there. That they're having this whole thing going on Wednesday. That I can expect the markets to be kind of iffy until then. And once I knew, again, it's funny because I kind of knew that I read something that before that thing I showed you. It was just a blurb about better than earnings expected, or I can't remember the exact wording. But it's funny because in the back of my head I said to myself, I know what that means, and then I didn't do anything with it. I should have checked back in here and said, hey, let's get out of this trade. Let's take the money, and it probably would have been once price started breaking up into here, because this big candle here is 10 o'clock. So once it broke above this, so it still would have pulled off, about a 75, 76 pip trade. That's what I'm happy. But one more thing I want to show you that I'm a little bit KO'd about was this is an Aussie US. I was looking to short this pair, and this is the order where the order is in there. I'm actually going to cancel this right now. But you can see price kind of got to it, is 05. What I was looking for here was a little pop above that, trigger me in. I was like at 105.05 or 106 or something like that. I was looking for a little bit of a pop up, right? Get me in and drop down, and it was a 100 pip trade right there, as you can clearly see in a day, basically. And that's what I was looking to get into, but it didn't. My limit didn't get filled. I didn't get that pop up that I would have liked to have seen. But that's the game, right? That's how it goes. So that's it. I'm gonna start to ramble right now. But yeah, if you could pick up anything from here, it's just people say, don't worry about the news, don't worry about the news. Yeah, you better take a look at the news. You're a trader, right? This is a business, and it never hurts to have just an eye on what's going on. You may not know what to do with it, but I think over time what can happen is you can get a feel for things, just a bit of a feel that can help your trading, whether you're trading a mechanical strategy or you're trading, whatever you're trading. I don't know what you're trading, unless you're trading a robot. And if you're trading a robot, just do me a favor, just write me a check and send me your money, because that's probably what's going to happen anyway. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Take care.